A subscription to the upcoming centennial season at the Garde Arts Center is an astonishing array of possibilities. Concerts, stage productions, including musicals, magic, film series, comedy, all sorts of special programming, and more. If there's an issue with that, it might be that not every patron can be at all of those possibilities, or indeed there might be a show or two they don't want to see. So a solution to that would be to let the patron come up with his own subscription series. And in the Guard's Flex Pass, well, it's a devilishly clever way for the patron to do that. My name is Rick Koster, and this is Gardecast, the first of a series of programs that will hopefully enrich and enlighten you over the course of the Guard's 100th series. I'm joined today by Steve Sigel, the Executive Director of the Guard, and Jen Zembruski, the Managing Director of the Guard. And which one of you sorcerers came up with the idea of the Flex Pass, and what is it specifically?
Well, it's nothing new. I mean, there's many institutions and theaters that have various journeys they put their customers on by, offering a selection of shows. We used to have a very active Broadway series years ago, and that was probably the identifying entrance point for return guests to our theater. It was classic Broadway. The Broadway world dramatically changed over the past 20, 25 years. And we became, and this is why we love you, because we became much more music-centric. And so we would email Rick Koster, this artist, how well do you think they would do? And so you were very helpful in sort of giving us your feedback and looking at what musical artists, because you seem to know them all. You knew something about everybody, which would do well in our community.
That was indicative of a wasted life. I wouldn't know that much about
a wasted life lived well. And the variety of events that we're doing. So when you lose, like Broadway was all Broadway, but now, as you said, it's everything. So how do you create a journey out of everything? And so you give patrons the option to pick and choose. You also recommend to them things they may want to see. Like we may have a Rick's Pick series. 3 or 5 events that you personally recommend. And if people don't like it, they can write to you and not us. We like that, So that's basically the concept, is to create a kind of experience instead of a one-off. When you say, it's a kind of...
I would say, to answer your question, this was absolutely Steve Siegel's brainchild. I believe that the execution of putting together a Flex series is the data that drove us to recognize we have a lot of patrons who walk through the doors, a lot of audience members who are first timers. They come in because they see a brand artist, or they come in because they're visiting somebody in the area. They come in because their neighbor says to visit the Guard. They get to the Guard and they say, wow, this is beautiful. I loved the experience. I loved the seating. I loved the venue. You have 1,400 seats, but it feels like I'm in somebody's living room. When should I come back? And we pull out our list of shows to come back and see. And they go, this is great. And they take that flyer and they bring it home. We know what happens when we get home and the mail goes on the counter and you don't get back to it and your schedule is busy. This is a way for us to communicate and offer, hey, guess what? You can take a look at this flyer. You can check off the ones that you want. You can say, I would like to come back. You can purchase those seats and those shows in advance. And if life happens, you can call the box office and exchange at no extra fees or charges.
So what sort of packages are there? Is it like 3 events, 5 events, or
Currently, we've rolled out a 3 or 5.
3 or 5?
We also rolled that out with the option of 3 or 5 out of 9 shows. And by the time we're done, I anticipate the choice being at about 24 shows. So it's a really easy way to have choice, have flexibility, make changes as needed, and then to add on if you need to. So we'll get to unveiling some of our holiday shows later in the summer, early fall. And when you see that, you might indeed have family members visiting for the holidays. And you might call us and say, I bought my Flex Pass and now I need to bring my grandkids. Can I do that? Yes. Yes, you can. You can add single tickets to that. You can say, oh my goodness, I found out that they're coming for Christmas and then for spring vacation and they'll be back in the summer because we're in New London and it's really fun and the water and the beaches. And you say, can I buy another package? Can I be an owner of a 3 series and a 5 series? Yes, you can do that too. So the possibilities are limitless. And that was the idea behind this, was to increase the amount of communication that we have with our audiences to share not only the story of the Garde, but the stories of what is on stage and screen.
Yeah, it's to give them preference to some convenience and value by allowing them to choose the best seats for any of the shows they're interested in before it goes on single ticket sale. So we're offering kind of concierge services to those who we would like to be regular guests at the Garde, repeat attenders.
It's something that we've done for years. Jeannie Sigel, who's our Director of Development and Community Outreach, has her cell phone everywhere. She says, call me, and she answers. And we'd like to extend that and broaden that pool of people that utilize that service. In the same way, we have a box office that's open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 5. When we have performances, we're open until intermission. And that's a service that a lot of places in this industry don't have anymore. But keeping it local, keeping it authentic, keeping the conversation going is what's going to help drive arts and culture in the community, not only for the preference of performances, but also for the economic development of New London.
You know, with regards to the box office issue, I think this is exceptionally important and that everybody should know. You still have ticket stubs, because I'm one of those people that collects ticket stubs.
Right?
I have the best story for you. Go tell me your story.
Well, I don't. I mean, I just over the years, either attending concerts on my own or certainly when I was reviewing them for the day newspaper, I amassed over 100 of them. Certainly.
Yeah.
The only weird thing is that some of the ones like, I had a Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, and the ink is sort of all faded off. So if I show it to someone, I'd say, you have to believe me that this said Brian Wilson. But the point is...
Well, keep it out of the sun. That'll help.
It's true.
Where do you keep it, by the way?
They were on my desk, taped onto the wall behind it. Yeah. And yes, the sun came in, Steve, and bleached them out. Okay. But I guess the point was, maybe it's archaic or even unnecessary because everything is electronic now. But as someone that likes to do that, a lot of shows I can no longer get the ticket stubs to.
I have a couple of things to say about that. One, we had Graham Nash at our building a couple of months ago, and there was a gentleman who lives down in New Jersey. And his in-laws live up in Massachusetts, and they chose to come to New London in the Garde to see the Graham Nash show. He also mentioned that Graham Nash was coming much closer to his house, and he'll go to that concert also, but they wanted to make sure that they saw this show. So excited to be in the building. But came up to me, I was helping with the merch table, and he said, you work here, right? I said, yes, I do. He said, the same thing you did. All these concerts, I have real ticket stubs, and I bought my tickets online. So I have this piece of paper. He said, can you get me a real ticket stub? Do you know, we walked right to the back door of the box office, and I said to our box office manager, can you do me a favor? Can you reprint this ticket so this gentleman can have it? You would have thought that I handed him $1 million, but it was so important and so special. And the thing that I need to say about that is there's a lot of conversation about ticketing right now, whether you're talking about the Ticketmaster conversation, but third-party ticketing is an issue. And there is really limited ways to combat third-party ticketing. What that means is that there are buyers, bots, computer programs that go into back ends of the systems that are now serving up tickets. And they are purchasing before the public, and then they are selling that at a very high rate of dollars. And if you don't know how to read the URL at the top of your computer screen, or the app that you have on your phone is connected in a way with which you are not buying the authentic tickets, you could be overspending. You can be buying a ticket that's not really there. And so a lot of people in the independent venues have actually allowed people to buy tickets online, but we don't mail them. We don't send them. We ask you, like the old days, to come an hour early, wait in the will call line and pick up your tickets so that you know what you purchased actually gets into the right hands. So I'm not suggesting that it's going to go back to the old days of everybody having a hard ticket, but for sure, music consumers like yourself and others who have been in this for a very long time and who know the old school of that ticket stub, they want it. They're clamoring for it.
What a great idea. I mean, we could literally, for those who want them or those who came to see a show, we could say, thank you for coming to see Graham Nash. Here, by the way, is an artifact. It's a printed ticket of your seat, which is evidence. This is your receipt. You were there. And I think that's what tickets do. It shows that you were there. And it's the same reason I found fascinating that you talked about merch, but all these like artists, these musicians, they're very, very proud of the vinyl they're selling.
Sure.
Yes.
And it's not because people need the vinyl to hear the artist. It's because it is two things. One, it's an artifact that is rare, but they also got it at that event. So there's this sense of connection and memory. I think that anything that you bring back, a ticket or a program or a vinyl has. And that's what you've naturally done all your life. That's
Sunday
beautiful.
night, we had a show in the Oasis Room. It was Wes Parker, a young artist, up and coming. And fascinating, I was sharing with Steve that there was an opening act, a small intermission. Wes Parker and the band played for about 60 minutes. And then gave 60 minutes afterwards at their merch table with every single person in that room. And I said to Steve, it was like the old days. It was so much fun to watch the audience interaction, to watch people so excited to walk away with their vinyl, and cassette tapes are coming back.
Really?
Yeah, cassette
Wow.
tapes walking out of the room. But I think that is so indicative of any industry that has cycles and is cyclical, and what's old becomes new again. It brings out what makes it human, the human connection, the human interaction, and the memory moments
Now,
that
didn't the
we can
Grateful
offer.
Dead and others, aren't there other bands that have actually encouraged people just to record the whole damn
Oh,
thing?
sure. The whole jam band aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which still happens today. I think in the last 3 years, we had 2 that I spoke with people who were recording, and I said, you are welcome to do that, but you can't be in front of, nowadays, the seated customer. You need to be behind them. So let's find you the right space.
You know, when I was much younger, I had, you know, like Steve and I, so we're about the same age. So I'd be like 18 years old. This would be in the early 70s. And I would have one of those little cassettes where you, like that big, and you would press record or whatever. And I had a strap for it, and I would wear a sport coat over it and sneak it into concerts. That was not encouraged. I taped the Moody Blues and King Crimson and Robin Trower and all these vintage acts.
Have you kept them out of the sun?
No,
You
I
still
don't.
have
I
those?
do not have
Damn.
them. And the quality was just horrible.
Yeah.
Just awful. But now, and I think our host, Carl Franklin, could attest to this, you could probably get a world-class recording with something the size of a postage stamp.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
to what extent people do it without band encouragement, but
Yeah.
but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to go back very briefly to something you were saying, Jen, and that's what's special about the Garde. You have Wes Parker in, very much a younger demographic.
Sure.
And now he was in the Oasis Room, which is a smaller venue. That's okay. That's how it builds.
Correct.
But what I'm saying is, you have the crowd probably skewed to his age demographic. I don't know how many older people were there. But so, yes, you have the younger people there, and they experience an artist that is willing to sit there and talk to them, old school. They buy the merch, they get the ticket or whatever,
Sure.
and it's not something that is so alien or beneath them, if you want to put it that way, that they don't care. No, they actually react to it in a positive way. And that's an experience that you're not necessarily going to get at a casino show. I'm not throwing anybody under the hearse here.
No.
But, and I think it builds an audience. It's something that a Wes Parker fan is going to remember.
100%. And I
Not
think
just the artist, but the venue.
Yeah.
that is the point.
Yeah.
So we are the Garde Arts Center. I remember starting my job here with Steve and Jean and listening to them speak about this incredible institution. This year, the Garde Arts Center will be celebrating its 40th birthday, and the Garde Arts building will be celebrating its 100th birthday. Notice that I didn't say Garde Theater. And I think a lot of people resonate with the main hall. Beautiful as it is the showpiece and the centerpiece. But we are the block. We have 4 buildings. We are continually working to upgrade those spaces because we are the location that has a safe space for the community, for artists, for audience members. And part of our mission and job is to utilize those spaces in a way with which the community responds or requests or likes to interact with us. From art galleries to the Oasis Room, to the main stage, to the screen, to the Garde Gallery that's down on the corner that's been activated a lot in the last year with numbers of community organizations that need a space in downtown New London to do a project or have a community block party. And it's really exciting to see that. And I think that's what makes the Garde Arts Center so special. I joined right after the time that the Garde received the League of Historic American Theater's Outstanding Theater Award for Community. And it was...
That was in
2022.
Yeah.
And it was fascinating to watch the excitement of the community celebrate that. It was exciting to watch the board and the staff lead that conversation with the community, because without that interactivity, it wouldn't have existed, right? That recognition is really part and parcel of that. So I think that your point about it not being a casino is valid and needs to be stated. It is a different experience. We don't operate like the casino either. Can't tell you how many times people have come to the show and they've sat down in those front seats and somebody's walked down the aisle and they want to stand in front of the artist, and I will walk up and say, please take your seat. And they will try to tell me, well, this is how the casino does it. And I said, that's great. You should have went there for a concert tonight, right? There's a reason that people choose to come to the Garde Arts Center. There's a reason that people choose to come to seated venues. There's a reason that people love to be in the Oasis Room for its intimate setting. And to be able to find space for all of those reasons is really part and parcel of what we do on a daily basis. And then to your second point, to grow the artist, to grow the art in a community is that second really major priority, not just for New London, but for Southeastern Connecticut and for Connecticut, and then for the industry as we continue to move forward.
Does that mean you're not going to let me open a baccarat table in the lobby?
No, we'd love that.
I think that it should happen. Maybe we should have a gambling night as a fundraiser for the nonprofit,
I remember talking
right?
to the tribe in the early days when the competition was just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I would say to them, listen, we're a nonprofit
Yeah.
supported by the community. You're a nonprofit tribe supported by your community.
Right.
Could we get some special dispensation where we could dedicate a floor of the Garde office building to like the Monte Carlo room, and you guys can run it? You could take 90%. We want to help our
And I think
our
that,
Aboriginal people. We're not greedy. We just want to be of service to you. It didn't really go far, but no, I think the important thing is that it's the community's theater, and that it only works to the extent that people feel that they not only feel good there, but they can actually affect what happens there. So,
Absolutely.
So the pass is one way for us to sort of figure out what do people want, and we're always open. People walk up on the street and suggest things, and we're
emails
always,
all the time.
yeah,
Idea.
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Hot dogs. Hot dogs at the...
So I have to be honest, I've had that conversation with the Dutch Tavern And Tim,
Really?
I have.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it needs to be called the Dutch Dog.
The Dutch Dog.
And I think,
Yes.
right? Don't you think
Yeah.
Dutch Dog in New London? I think that it will go to show the collaboration that we have with many restaurants and businesses in New London.
That's a great idea.
I think that our concessions and merchandising right now, first, yes, we will have commemorative 100-year-old commemorative merch, but we also have Tony D's ice cream, and we also have Tox
Really?
Brewery, and we have popcorn, and we have local chips. But
Is the concession stand open right now?
For you?
Yeah, like if I leave now, can I go get some stuff?
Yeah.
yes,
It's 9:00 in the morning. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's okay. The box office opens at 10, so maybe I shouldn't have said yes so quickly. But the truth of the matter is that there has been many conversations, particularly around the ice cream. I will tell you that
Yeah.
I would love to open that pop-up ice cream stand downstairs
Yeah.
or in the cottage or somewhere on the block for people to come and visit us. But, you know,
It's featuring the community. We'd like to show the culinary richness of the region. It's an art, and just also help them, economically and showcase. So when people come to New London, they go like, Dutch, who? And then they hear about Dutch's Tavern and Eugene O'Neill, and
Right.
it's an entry point really into coming back not only to see the Garde but the city and what makes this place special.
I think to your point about the Baccarat table, about the nonprofit, about the Dutch Dog, the overarching theme is that we are a nonprofit. We are also a business. And we do have to look at the numbers, the data, and we need to raise money and we need to earn money in order to stay afloat and keep the doors open. So all of those pieces that we just talked about are this nice mix, whether you call it a puzzle, whether you call it a labyrinth. We work daily to put all of those pieces together in a seamless way so that all of the drivers are here for us to keep the doors open for the future. And that's part of it. When we talk about dollars and cents, particularly if we go back to the Flex Pass, the top 2 tiers are in our P1 and P2 section. The price of those tickets are reflective very much of industry and standard ticket pricing. As we move into P3, P4, and P5, which are price 3, price 4, and price 5, you will start to see savings with buying multiple performances, much like you do in other subscription packages. So there's economy in all of these packages also that you move forward. Very much the way that if you're one of our Breezeline Winter Cinema Series package holders, pass holders versus a single ticket holder, you will find economy and you will find savings. And I'm also looking forward to, I haven't shared this with Steve yet, but I'm looking forward to making one for the Oasis Room this year. I think going back to West Parker, we had the Sinners Circle and we also had comedy every Saturday night. We found successes across all of those genres, much like the Flex Pass, where we had the opportunity to say, you can pick one magic, you can pick one comedian, you can pick one theatrical. You should be able to do it in the smaller venue to also
Sure.
help local artists,
Right.
touring artists, but artists who are getting their feet wet and moving up. We know you want to support them also. So I think you'll see something like that too.
Yeah, it's like the Side Door, jazz club.
Yeah.
It came out of Ken Kitchen's experience learning how to book stuff, both in the big theater and in the Oasis Room. In the Oasis Room, we would have Tom Rush, then we'd have, T.S. Monk, and we would have such a variety of
Jason
Jesse
Marcellus.
Jason Marcellus,
Donald
Jesse Cook.
Hamilton. You had a lot of...
Yeah. So I think the diversity is there, but we didn't have it as a series there. We're just saying, what'll work. So I think we're kind of ready to try some packages.
You know what? Why don't we conclude this initial gathering?
Yes.
Sure.
Tease a few people with some of the shows that are going to be part of the centennial season. Do you know
I
off the
am
top of your
very
head?
much looking forward to Paul Mercurio,
Yep.
who is local,
Yep.
also seen on late night TV,
Yep.
comedian,
Was a Colbert
stand-up.
writer.
Correct.
Colbert writer.
But his show that's coming in is a little unique and it actually has audience involvement in it.
Yeah.
So people from the audience will be on stage and I think people like being part of the act. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
That's November 7th.
That's November 7th. I grew up watching Fraggle Rock on
Yep.
HBO.
Yep.
It was a very big deal for my family to have HBO. And I'm super excited about the national tour coming through to do that show. That's in October, I believe. October
yeah, it
11th.
is. Yeah, it is. Jim Henson's Fraggle Rock.
And I'm going to pick a third and then hand it over to Steve. But my third one I'm going to pick is the Squirrel Nut Zippers Holiday
Show.
Caravan.
So
Yes.
that's one of those swing band redo acts that's been around for a while, and they're terrific musicians. To see them do a holiday take ought to be pretty interesting.
I'm really excited. And I think I want to underscore the legacy they have in the industry, the staying power they have in the industry, and they are musicians.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Will you dance to holiday music if they play it?
Appropriately in the right aisle, not blocking a fire exit.
Steve, what is your
Well,
pick?
one thing before the season starts is we have what I'm sure will be a very long-remembered concert, because it'll be long remembered by the performer, because it will be his last concert before he steps down as the artistic director of Lincoln Center Jazz. So we have the man himself, Wynton Marsalis, but not with a quartet, not with a septet, with the entire Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra. And we were very fortunate to be, I think, one of 3 venues in Connecticut to sort of wrap up his residency at Lincoln Center. And I think it's the Levitt Pavilion, Tanglewood, and of course of equal renown,
Stature.
the Garde. So we're doing the indoor event so that's very, very special for us. And then
Can you say the date on that? yet?
yes, it's June 28th.
7th.
27th, June 27th.
I don't know. I'm just as a music geek. I don't know if I can convey what a big deal that show is and what a big deal Wynton Marsalis is.
Share that. Why do you say that? Other than,
He's one of the
Iconic.
greatest trumpeters that ever lived.
Yes.
And he not only embraced the legacy of New Orleans jazz,
Yes.
which is the birthplace of jazz, and artists like Louis Armstrong, who he's championed, but he took all of that and moved it into the future. And it's when he moved to New York City to expand the whole bloodline of it and musically look forward harmonically and everything else.
He won a Grammy for Classical Album of the Year and
He did.
Jazz Album of the Year.
He's
the
won a
same
Pulitzer
year.
Prize.
wow.
I mean,
He is-
jazz music is the foundation of American
It
music.
is American music.
It is American music, 100%.
And he has a tone. If you hear it, you know it's him. Like Louis Armstrong. I know it when I hear Wynton Marsalis, and that's a remarkably unusual and special thing. So anyway, that's
The other iconic event is going to be next year, and one of the great performances we've ever had at the Garde that I've seen, and I got to meet the performer, was Hal Holbrook's Mark Twain. And of course, Hal's no longer with us.
Right.
But Richard Thomas is, and he has an incredible Mark Twain Tonight show that we'll be doing
That's going to be amazing.
next spring. And we think, in our 100th year, here's a Connecticut legend. And the other one is something that also can have local community participation. That's The Moth, the radio show The Moth.
Yeah.
That's done extremely well. We usually fill the house. It's just an evening of storytelling, really. What's that like? Is that going to be boring? Boy, is it not. People are just blown away by just the true stories that are told by regular people about their own individual experiences in life. And so those are 3 very different kind of events, I think.
Yeah, they are. And I think what you said about the storytelling, think about the entire age. It goes back to, NPR type programming that had that stuff. And now with podcasts and social media, I can't imagine the number of, again, young people who listen to storytelling and narrative and interview, and they're much more open to that sort of a program than maybe there would have been even 10 or 15 years ago. So, yeah. Now, do I get to pick one?
Please.
You get to pick as many as you like. As a matter of fact, we always tell you what we're thinking of to make sure it gets
Yes,
a stamp
you
of
do.
approval.
Well, I will say, I always like to tell the story because it's so embarrassing. But years ago, Jen and Steve reached out and said, we have a chance to get this band called the Musical Box, which is the premier Genesis tribute act in the world. You may well know that, I don't, but for listeners, there is no more Genesis. And they feature the earlier era more with Peter Gabriel out front. They were incredibly arcane, complex instrumental stuff, but very, very listenable.
Sure.
Wonderful stuff. And their Genesis has endorsed them. That's how good they are. And Steve and Gene said, we got a chance to get the Musical Box. They're doing the Black Tour from Selling England by the Pound. I started doing backflips. I said, you get them. I don't care what it costs. I don't care if you have to pawn your car or whatever. How many people showed up for that, Steve? 13?
No, it wasn't that bad, but
Oh my!
it made you very reticent to suggest anything.
Exactly. So why would you want my opinion anymore?
No, because it's quality stuff. Well, I think you've also, there's two questions. How do you like them? And then we also asked the question, do you think the audience that you now know so well and love in our community,
will they travel?
Will they travel? Will they come out? Do they know who this person is? And those are different questions.
And the caveat is that at the time I suggested them and you booked the show. After that, they added a show up downstate. And that took out, I think, a lot of people that would have traveled a long distance to see them.
Sure.
So that's my one small, weak excuse. But in the case, I'm so baffled by your graciousness to let me still recommend stuff. Although I wonder if you say, let's ask Rick what he thinks, and then we do exactly the opposite of what he recommends. Having said that,
we can try a couple and see if it is.
On October 9th, The Machine performs Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
They're really, really good, and hopefully more than 35 people. Well, I didn't do that one, so it'll be safe.
No, it'll be fine.
That's an annual, or shall I say, every
they do very
18
well.
months
We've
that
done
comes
it 3
back.
times already.
They're a
Right.
regular. They're a routine.
regular,
and,
yeah. And I think
reliable
people
draw.
need to know, right? So we hear you when there's fan favorites and there's audience favorites. The way the market and the industry works is that it typically takes between 12 and 18 months to bring that band back. Just to your point, we're a 65 square mile state in between New York and Boston, Massachusetts. And even within our own state, as Steve and I found out, there's more seats in the state than there are probably people to actually sit in them.
We have the highest per capita concentration of available entertainment seats. We exceed Hartford, New Haven, Connecticut, and Manhattan, believe it or not. It's not that we have more in total quantity, but per capita.
I believe
for those who live within a 30-minute. So there's a great richness of opportunity here, and it certainly makes it more competitive, and you have to be more selective. And I always recommend people that they get a really, really good music critic, established paper or former paper.
Well, if you guys can find one, I'll step aside.
So
hey,
what are your other favorites?
One last thing?
What are your other favorites? You mentioned The Machine.
No, that's the one I want.
All right.
What? We have a special film coming up in August.
That's right.
Do you want to talk about that for just a second?
Sure.
Or would you rather wait and hold that for the next one?
No, I think it's fine because you know about it, and actually you're good friends with someone in it. And the someone in it is a very, I think, transformational person in the entertainment world of Southeastern Connecticut.
Internationally.
And internationally.
Yeah.
And that's Mitchell Grosinger Edis. Mitch Edis was the CEO and president of Mohegan Sun. It was his idea, why don't we get like this women's basketball thing, and we need to do something in the arena. Let's try that. And boy, did
professional lacrosse.
Yeah. And so Mitch
he was a pioneer.
He is. So Grosinger's was one of the iconic, classic summer resorts in the Catskills.
Borscht Belt.
The Borscht Belt, or the Jewish Alps, is sometimes it's called.
Yeah.
And his grandmother, Jenny, was a pioneer in a time in which women weren't necessarily running things,
Right.
especially in the hospitality industry. But she created this incredible resort that had almost any amenity you could imagine. And for decades, it was one of the prime vacation getaways for everybody. And it welcomed people from all backgrounds. I mean, it had, Jackie Robinson would show, I mean, all kinds of folks. And so there's a movie called...
A documentary.
We met at
Grossinger's.
And we're going to do the Connecticut premiere in August, and Mitch will be there to talk to everybody, as well as the director, as well as the producer. And we're working on some other people who are in the film who we don't want to hex because we don't have them of quite renown. And it's going to be...
It's a remarkable film.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a great way to sort of salute certainly Mitchell's family, but the whole notion of how families... a family creates a giant family of patrons, of people with decades of memories through the arts and entertainment. And it's pretty much what I think Mitch brought to the Mohegan tribe. And it's pretty much what we try to do at the Garde and try to create a kind of...
Grossinger's was a microcosm of an entire culture that was created in the Catskills because Jews had no place else to go. There was a lot of anti-Semitism, still is, but there were 500 luxury hotels in the Catskills where Jews went to be with each other, and it opened doors not only with his mom and the whole women, the matriarchy in an industry that was theretofore not particularly welcoming to women, but as you said, Jackie Robinson and Gentiles and a remarkable
It's the
period.
birthplace, they say, of modern comedy.
Absolutely.
The Seinfelds and all that. That all comes, Woody Allen, Mort Saul, Buddy Hackett.
For me,
that's where they cut their
it's
teeth.
Dirty Dancing.
It's Dirty Dancing.
That is
For
the hotel
me,
that
it's the
inspired.
Marvelous
Yes.
Mrs. Maisel series.
That all reflects exactly.
That all reflects.
So anyway, I thought we'd throw that out there.
Yeah, that's great.
And
because you'll be there. That's what, August
13th.
13th.
So Mitchell will be there, and he's a great guy.
Great guy.
And he's looking forward to the hot dogs that you will have in the concession stand.
Excellent.
Did they have hot dogs at Grossinger's? They probably did.
I don't know.
We'll have to
Is
find
that
out. Man.
not really kosher?
I think there's kosher
Well,
hot
I don't
dogs.
think they care.
There's a-
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are.
I don't
It
know.
wasn't a temple. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it was,
All right, well, we'll do this again, right?
Sounds fun.
All right. Thanks for listening, all.
hey, thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
Hey, if you enjoyed this and you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you again.